Yo, what up out there? Welcome to the second segment of the Shake Back Sports Show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. It's your boy Willie Epting Jr. Live, loud, and in color, baby, holding it down. You already know what it is, man. I'm telling you right now, we are talking about the dopest part of the calendar. Welcome back. I have been out for the last couple episodes for this episode or for this show. Thank you guys out there for welcoming me back with open arms. We got still a lot more to get into. We're going to get into some NFL here in just a minute. And then we got some things to talk about in terms of some accomplishments in the third segment that we have not seen ever and that we will probably never see again, depending on, kind of what happens. So just in case you missed it in the first segment, yep. Realignment in college football. It is real. It is ongoing, and it is fascinating to say the least. The Big Ten is now the Big 18 or will be the Big 18. I wonder what they're going to rename the conference because you obviously cannot keep calling yourselves the Big Ten. The Pac-12, well, the Pac-12 just might be out of there for real. I had some thoughts about that as well. And then, of course, Anthony Davis, he secures the bag from the Los Angeles Lakers, multi-year extension. He's making basically $60 million a year. So congratulations to AD for getting his dough. Now, we need you to match that as Laker fans. We need you to match that paycheck with your performance, but more importantly, your availability in LA. So let's go ahead and get to the second segment. It is being brought to you by who? Us. Who is us? We is us. Who is we? We is the Big Game Christian Sports Network, and we are bringing you intense football action. That's right. High school football action is back right around the corner. Football tonight returns on August 25th with the Crowley Eagles looking to start the season off right as they try to unfeather and debeak or pluck or whatever the Hawks of Birdville on BGC SEN1, and the Dunbar Wildcats are looking to maul the Wilmer Hutchins Eagles also on August 25th on the BGC SN2. 2 teams, 2 stations, twice the intense action. For schedules and times, go to bgcsports.net. My dude, Gentry, will be handling the calls, man, and Cedric Bailey, of course, Uncle Bailey, he will be handling some of the calls as well. All right, so before we get to the NFL, and oh, by the way, thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook. Of course, that is for my personal page, the Shakeback Media Group's Facebook page, as well as the BGC Sports Network, the LinkedIn channel for myself, YouTube, and of course, Twitter. Y'all, I have been nominated for One God's Way for the dopest tagline in sports by saying that. So if I win, cool. If I don't win, cool. But anyway, so thank you guys out there, man, for checking your boy out right here on all of the platforms that we stream on here at the Shakeback Media Group. And speaking of that, before we actually get to the next topic, because we got to talk a little bit about some history before we get back to sports. And the thing about the Shakeback Media Group is that we're expanding, and we want you. You can drop your comments in the comment section below. You can hit me up on Twitter, Shakeback Media Group, or on Instagram, even on Threads, all plus Facebook, wherever you see this broadcast, you can hit me up there. We're looking for you. We are looking for people who want to expand and actually be able to hone their craft. So hit me up. All right. So before we actually get to the NFL and the goings on in other sports news, I have to talk about the historical events that have taken place in our country yet again. And I need to preface this by saying this is not about Republican or Democrat. This is not about conservative or liberal. This is not about black or white. This is not about minority or majority. This is about what's right and what's wrong. And for all you guys know out there that have followed me and have shown love to me, even those that have not shown love to me, let me just set the record straight. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Right has no color, wrong has no color. Theoretically, practically, but we know realistically that it does come into play. Political affiliation, we know that it does come into play. But I am not talking about political. I'm not being political when I start talking about this, and the clip that I'm about to show, courtesy of TikTok and CNN. Earlier this week, or actually it was last week. Earlier in the week, Donald Trump has been indicted for a third time on this time on some more serious charges of the attempts to overturn a free and fair election from what happened on January actually it culminated on January the 6th. And we all saw what happened unfold in front of our eyes. I don't care about conspiracy theories. I don't care what party you prefer. I don't care what presidential candidate you prefer. If you looked at what happened, and based on the information that we have been given, if you are saying that what happened was right, it's something wrong with you. It's something wrong with you. And I don't want to hear, well, it was Antifa. Okay, well, if it was Antifa, then tell me why everybody that was trying to halt the January 6th committee did not want certain things to come out if it was Antifa. But here's the thing. Donald Trump he's only a man. He's not a god. He's going to make mistakes. He's made mistakes. He is a sinner like all of us. But here's the thing. And I remember my dad used to telling me this all the time. Son, it's one thing to sin, but it's another thing to practice sin. And I don't know where Donald Trump's faith lies. I know where my faith lies, and I know where the faith a lot of people that follow me and have been on this show and that I follow. I know where their faith lies. And the book that we read and the the commandments that are there, the instructions that are there for a righteous life. I have not seen this dude follow hardly any of them, if any at all. I'm not going to say that he doesn't do it. I'm just saying what I have seen. And then when you have people, certain people, not all people, but it's just certain people, because there's always a few, right? And then when people are out front and they're telling us things that are going to happen, and then we ultimately see them happen, and then those same people kind of like stray away from what they said or what they told us. It is ridiculous. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to play a clip that I got from TikTok, and it is courtesy of CNN. And whatever your news source is, I need you to not look at the news source, but listen to the people who are saying the things that they are saying. And this is what was said 2-3 years ago, however long it was, and now we're living it now. Here we go. Take a listen and a watch.
Republicans.
I will not stop until we fight a man that chooses not to disavow the KKK. That is not a part of our party. That's not who we want as president. We will not allow that in our country.
I'm thinking, how did we get the race for the most important office in the free world to sink to such depths? And how could anyone in my party think that this clown is fit to be president?
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. You know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
To me, a racist statement's a racist statement. I don't like what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump has shown himself to be a showman. I don't think he's a serious candidate.
You, sir, are the distraction. Your conduct, sir, is the distraction. Mr. Trump, that I respectfully ask you, with all due respect, to step aside. Step down. Allow someone else to carry the banner of these principles.
During anxious times, it can be tempting to follow the siren call of the angriest voices.
I'm out. I can no longer endorse Donald Trump for president.
He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth.
We're on the verge of having someone take over the conservative movement and the Republican Party who's a con artist.
I just really believe that the Republican Party has been conned here, and this guy is not a reliable conservative Republican. This is a defining moment for the Republican Party.
That is not who our Republican Party is. That's not who America is.
Donald Trump's candidacy is a cancer on conservatism, and it must be clearly diagnosed, excised, and discarded.
Now, all of those Republicans went on to broadly support or to work for President Trump's administration, ignoring his nods to
that last part. And of course, that was Breonna Kyler from CNN. I don't even know when that was done, but it popped up for me on my timeline this week. So I had to address it. And here's my question, ladies and gentlemen. What has happened between the time that these Republicans said these things until now that will make you think that who it was that they were talking about was false? That's a question. Here's another question. If all of them knew, or they were spitting all of these actual factuals about a candidate who they all agreed at a certain point in time that would be the worst thing for the Republican Party, let alone the United States of America, why are so many of them still rushing to his aid as of this current time, even after all of the indictments? Why are they doing that? And these are conservatives. And I don't understand the hypocrisy that is bred from this individual. I really would like to know. And I'm not trying to start no stuff. I'm trying to understand, because I live in the United States of America too. I have a business in the United States of America too. I have served in the United States military too. And I can only imagine the veterans that are serving now, or under Trump's administration. I can only imagine what it would have been like for my generation to have a commander-in-chief such as that. Now, I don't condone any of these things, and I don't care if it's a Republican or if it's a Democrat. Excuse me. I don't care if it's an independent or if it's a Whig Party person. I just don't care, because none of that matters, y'all. None of that matters. So we have to check our own moral compasses. And I hear people saying, well, what about Joe Biden? He's the most corrupt president ever. Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? I don't mean hearsay. I don't mean emotion. I don't mean whataboutisms. Look, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, they have never had to face a grand jury. A grand jury is formed because there is enough evidence to be presented to see if there's enough to go to trial. Name any of those people that I just spouted off who's had that, who's had to endure that. I'll wait. So where is your evidence? And let me just flip the script real quick. If Hunter Biden is guilty, he deserves to be punished to the full extent of the law that crime allows, or whatever the punishment is for that crime. He deserves to get whatever it allows. If Barack Obama had done the same things that Donald Trump has allegedly done and had been indicted 4 times or 3 times, because there is a 4th one coming from Georgia. We know that. If he would have done that, and I voted for Obama, and am I a big Obama fan? No, not particularly, because I think he left some stuff on the table, particularly for African Americans. But that's another story for another day. So what I'm saying is this, ladies and gentlemen, is that if it were Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, George W. Bush, George H. Bush, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, if any of those people in positions of power and authority had done exactly what this dude is to have alleged to have done, I would want full justice. I would want the Justice Department, weaponized or not. I would want the Justice Department appointed by a liberal president or a conservative president or not. I want the full extent of justice brought to that person's door, because none of us are above the law. None of us are. Now, there are people out here that think that they may be above the law. And I'm not even talking about Donald Trump or anybody in politics for that matter. I'm just saying there are people out here that think they are above the law. But why? So in its purest forms, ladies and gentlemen, if you that has divided us, if you strip away everything that our differences try to make us believe that is who we are, if you strip away all of the bigotry and the prejudices of not just white people, but of black people too, if we strip all of that away, and if you strip away the color of an individual, does that make what this dude is alleged to have done any more right or any more wrong? That's the question that I want to know. Somebody on Washington or somebody on Capitol Hill needs to answer this question. Somebody in the governor's office needs to answer these questions. Somebody in the Senate and the Congress, or the House rather, needs to answer these questions. Because as a person, and notice what I said person, not as a black person, not as a black man, but as a person and a man who has been profiled. And it was because of the color of my skin, 100%, even while wearing a military uniform. Why is it okay? Or why is the perception of it is that it's okay for some, but not for others? That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not even the true. Well, I'm not going to say that, but this is the reason why people wanted to kill Colin Kaepernick, because he's bringing these issues to light. Now, let me ask you another question. What was the more egregious act? Donald paying hush money to a porn star, or taking a kneel silently at the beginning of a football game to show your First Amendment right to protest? Which one was more egregious? Which one broke the law? Which one did the individuals perpetrating both events, which person actually consulted and counseled with a person before they actually did what they did? This is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. And America, as beautiful as America is, America can be the ugliest underbody of an old clunker of a car that we've ever seen. And it's just it's terrifying. It's terrifyingly sad is what I want to say. And if a person can't see these stark differences and strip down to the basics of cores, we got a problem. All right, come on back on the other side of the break. I got more. We're gonna get to this NFL, man. It is back. Willie Epting Jr., Shake Back Sports Show, Big Game Christian Sports Network. Y'all come on back and holler at me.